This is Ray's Solenoid Effect Part 2. All the magnets are 1/8 by 1/2. All the metal bars are as such. I placed the whole thing on wheels and we have a solenoid effect. Okay, we'll go ahead and start. I have it so it freely moves. The movement is in a V and the second V. These are known as the V gates. They worked really well except when they came to the next set of gates. Then they would not travel through. Years ago I worked with something like this and I put the gates in line with the small car. One would work very, very nicely. But as I kept adding more and more gates, the unwanted magnetic forces in between would add up and slow it down, and finally it would not go through. See how it's not? Okay. See how that affects it? So what I did was I started putting them to the side like the V gates that you see on the internet. This helped quite a bit. And as you can see now, if I had magnetic forces resisting the car coming into the gate, that would stop my over unity results. And for me, if I have greater output than I do input, whether it's distance or power, then I call that over unity, even though I cannot recycle it. This system is made for a straight travel. Anytime I tried to put a curve like a circle, it would not work. It just doesn't like it. So, bring that back, and this is clay, and it worked very, very well. It'll stick enough to the glass. I'll go ahead and bring that up. You can see that it's not pushing it away. Bring it up and it'll pull it in and fire. If we could hook a little generator with a string on it and it would turn the generator as it went forward, we'd extract a little bit of power from it. That was my idea. There's always someone very clever out there to be able to recycle this somehow, figuring out how to do that. As we add more, we do get a slower reaction coming through the gate, but it is doing better than a few years back. Okay. Coming out a little bit more in the V gate, and it's still not pushing back. It'll come up to the gate and it's slower to react, but it's still coming through and getting further. Now if it was pulling back as it came out of the gate, then that would kill the over unity effects also. You can see that it's coming through. As it comes back, eventually it hits the magnetic solenoid effect. See how that's coming through? Okay. So we're getting more distance out than what I'm pushing in, except for the factor of recycling it. Okay. Next set, just a little bit wider. Okay. Let that fire through, and the response is not as fast as it was, but we are getting a little bit more distance there. Okay, now we want to see if we can go into the next set of gates, and I'll set them a little bit closer. See that it's firing yet. At least it's a very interesting setup, and you'll have a lot of fun with it. So I'm coming in a little bit closer now, like I did on the first set of gates. We're about maybe a total of an inch difference between here and there right now. Okay, let's see if we'll get through there. As the number of gates multiply, the unwanted forces do add up faster than the solenoid effect. So let's see what happens. So we went through that gate, and that's usually the sticking point for a lot of these V gates. Whether it's very accurate, your guess is as good as mine. But I did put them in closer, and we'll go ahead and we'll go a little bit further out of this. And a little bit of luck, that'll come through there. We're hitting about 15, 16 inches there if everything goes right. So let's pour back there. We're going to be firing right there at that gate. So that's where we want to put a mark to see how far we're traveling. Years ago, if I could get 10 inches, 11, I was doing really well. Okay? And it would come and just stop. It wouldn't go through. So let's see what we're doing. I have that lined up right. We might actually get through there. We did it. We got through those gates there. So the next set I ran out. I had one left, but we're just going to go there. It probably would not go through. But it's not pulling it back, which would be working against itself. So I'm really thinking that that whole distance there is really kind of free. About 14 to 15 inches. So anyhow, hope you have a lot of fun. This is the second part of the series about the solenoid effect. And my guess is that if people are doing these things as they're shown and spinning with a all magnet motor, that it's using this style of solenoid effect. I don't know exactly how they got it together, but I'm just assuming from my research on the solenoid effect that that's what it is. So, hope you have lots of fun working with these. And I'll put the diagram up one more time. Thank you very much. Happy inventing.